After I switched careers to become a security guard, my girlfriend's childhood friend frantically called me over 100 times. Even my girlfriend kept texting me, calling me pretentious, and demanding that I return to join the talent show. It was all because in a previous life, her childhood friend and I had competed on the same talent show. But on the day of the competition, he performed the song I had written before I could. I confronted him on the spot, but my girlfriend was the first to accuse me of stealing it. Lying. The entire internet was calling me a plagiarist. My parents' company stocks plummeted, and my girlfriend took advantage of the situation to buy out the company. She even made my parents kneel to her childhood friend in humiliation, even as I died. I couldn't understand why the song I had worked so hard on ended up as someone else's success. I couldn't accept that my parents suffered such disgrace because of me. So I jumped from the top of my company's building. After being reborn, I immediately decided to quit the competition. Now I patrol my own company daily and casually enjoy the afternoon tea there. As for the world-changing hits, as long as I don't write them, no one can steal them. Are you submitting your sheet music or not? The staff member impatiently tapped the papers on the desk, snapping out of my thoughts. I realized I wasn't standing on a rooftop, nor had I splattered on the ground. I had returned to 3 days before the finals. Today was the deadline for submitting the sheet music. Seeing me still not reacting, the staff noticed the USB drive on the table and called out. They picked it up. Must be nice to have connections, they scoffed. Looks like you've got everything prepped. If it weren't for Sister Liu's support, do you think you have made it to the finals? My hand moved faster than my brain, and I quickly snatched the USB drive back. I'm not ready yet, I said. Come back later. The staff member rolled their eyes at my change of heart and walked away without another word. I collapsed onto the couch, my hands trembling as I rubbed the USB drive. My parents ran an entertainment company, and if nothing went wrong, I could live off their success for the rest of my life. But I chose to pursue my own dream instead. That's how I met my girlfriend, Liu Ryan, a fellow music student. The Sister Liu the staff member mentioned was none other than Liu Ryan herself. I had begged my parents to arrange for her to work as a music director on this talent show, so she could continue chasing her musical dreams. Liu Ryan insisted that I participate in the competition. Your parents made me join this talent show, she had said. But they won't let you join it? Do they look down on this show? Do they look down on me? To make her happy, I entered the competition. I breezed through the rounds until the finals, where I found out her childhood friend had performed my song. The finals were broadcast live. When I heard him singing my lyrics and melody, I panicked, no matter the reason. Performing after him would surely make me look like a plagiarist. I tried to withdraw from the competition, but Liu Ryan insisted on releasing my backing track. Immediately, the live chat exploded with insults directed at me. This isn't just similar. It's exactly the same. How can someone plagiarize so blatantly? Ah Sheng has evidence. He wrote every part of the song step by step. Get this plagiarist out of the entertainment industry. Liu Ryan was the first to accuse me of copying. Netizens cursed me endlessly. They dug into my personal life, found my parents, and discovered that our family's company was one of the organizers of the talent show. Naturally, I became labeled as someone who used connections, and a plagiarist, a despicable person who stepped on others to rise to the top. Thinking about what the netizens said, I pulled out my phone and opened Dazhong, the popular social media platform. Sure enough, Wang Sheng had posted there. Even the best inspiration needs dopamine to fuel it. Thanks to my junior for the little cake. It sweetened my heart. The post was accompanied by a picture of a cake and a handwritten music score. Next to him, a pair of fair legs rested against his side, and the person wearing the legs had on a Bulgari bracelet. The same bracelet I had given to Liu Ryan. Shifting my gaze to the handwritten score, I realized the melody was exactly the same as mine. How could this be possible? From the moment I conceived the idea to composing the melody, I hadn't left my practice room, and no one had entered either. Yet, Wang Sheng's post had been made at 9 p.m. last night. This was absurd. I looked around the practice room and noticed the camera mounted on the wall. Since practicing in the room was monotonous, the footage was rarely in high definition. But just in case, I pulled out my phone and called my parents. I asked them to request all surveillance and video footage under the name of the show's organizers. I refused to believe that, even after being reborn, I could still be outsmarted. While waiting for the footage, I carefully reviewed every detail, wondering if I had missed something. In my previous life, I had been the center of attention. I was once considered the most likely candidate to debut based purely on talent. Wang Sheng, on the other hand, was the most popular contestant, constantly flaunting his status as Liu Ryan Sr. Our popularity was neck and neck. But Liu Ryan always seemed to take extra care of him. Whenever I asked about it, she would only say, "He's just my junior. Why are you overthinking this? If you spent half as much energy on writing songs as you do worrying about this, you have already debuted in the center position." At the time, I loved Liu Ryan with all my heart, so I never questioned her words. Later, during the finals, Wang Sheng's contestant number was changed from 15 to 10, placing him right before me. And coincidentally, his song was identical to mine. It seemed that if I could resolve the plagiarism issue with Wang Sheng, I could clear my name. I was supposed to succeed through my own skill, and I refused to swallow this injustice. Just as I was thinking about this, my father called. "Why do you suddenly need the surveillance footage? Are you being bullied?" I had been here for so long, and I rarely ever used my family's connections. A lump formed in my throat. But I didn't want to drag my father into this mess. I casually brushed him off with a few words. I then began reviewing the surveillance footage from my practice room frame by frame, as well as Wang Sheng's practice room, and the areas around the surveillance room. No issues were detected. However, I did uncover some other unknown and private scenes. I immediately shut off the footage from Wang Sheng's practice room. I zoomed in on the footage from my practice room, but I still couldn't make out the notes on my tablet. So where did the problem arise? I inserted the USB drive into the computer. I opened my composition and deleted it. Since he wanted to steal, then let him steal this. I, Ziamingui, am not limited to composing just one song. After deleting the final backup, I finally let out a sigh of relief. Just as I was about to pull out my tablet to compose a new melody, the door to the practice room swung open. "Ziamingui, it's the last day. Why are you still dragging your feet?" Liu Ryan stormed in, yanking me up from the floor. When she couldn't pull me up, she kicked me in frustration. I stared at her, completely baffled, even thinking she might be crazy. "If I don't submit anything, your precious childhood friend can take the center spot. Why are you so anxious? Get rid of your spoiled attitude," she snapped. "This is a competition, not a playground for your tantrums or for your jealousy." Had I not lived through the events of the previous life, I might have believed she was just pushing me for my own good. She furrowed her brows, looking at me with disgust. Suddenly, she overlapped with the Liu Ryan from my past life. Her words echoed in my ears. "Didn't you used to love flaunting your privileged attitude? So why are you on your knees now begging for forgiveness? If only you had been willing to marry me right away. Make me the young mistress of your family, instead of just getting your parents to give me some lousy director job. I'd be living in luxury by now." Her face twisted in rage, clinging to Wang Sheng's arm as he kicked me to the ground. "You and those old fools better know your place. Sign the papers, or I'll ruin all of you." Everything around me blurred. I blinked. Liu Ryan was still standing in front of me. Seeing no reaction from me, She clicked her tongue in annoyance. Hurry up and restore the backup, and submit the sheet music. Her words struck me like lightning, instantly jolting me awake. With my eyes reddened, I grabbed her wrist tightly, fueled by the anger from my past life. How do you know I deleted the sheet music? She struggled, but couldn't break free. With her other hand, she slapped me hard across the face. Stop acting crazy. If you can't do it, go crawl back to your parents. Don't make me lose all respect for you. I let go of her wrist. She rubbed it, glancing briefly at the plush toy behind me. Before turning and walking away, I slumped back onto the couch. In a hurry, I tore open the plush toy on the couch. Inside one of its eyes was a hidden camera. Enraged, I tossed the stuffing all over the floor and began using my phone to scan the room for any other hidden cameras. It wasn't until I was sure there were no more cameras that I allowed myself to relax. Of course, I wasn't going to give up. My grandmother was a renowned cello artist, and I inherited her talent. Even if I couldn't debut in the group, I would become the brightest star. That's how our family's company would continue to thrive. With my abilities, writing another song wasn't going to be difficult. I sat quietly, holding a pen in my hand, using the tablet to jot down my ideas, thinking about the pain I endured in my previous life. The melody I composed grew more powerful, as if I were pouring all the suffering I experienced into the music. Just as I finished composing, a notification popped up on my phone from Daz Hong, something I had set to monitor Wang Sheng's posts closely. Using a burner account, I had specially marked him for priority notifications. He posted a photo of himself, a pouty selfie, with a hand resting gently on his. That hand was adorned with the familiar bracelet I had given to Li Ryan. The caption read, "My hard-earned work suddenly doesn't belong to me anymore. Looks like I'll have to start from scratch again, but at least someone is here with me, so it's not too bad." I was completely baffled. What was Wang Sheng trying to pull? I opened the comments section, and it was filled with fans offering words of comfort. Poor Ah Sheng. How could someone be so shameless? Imagine plagiarizing like that. If Ah Sheng hadn't caught it before the finals, he could have been falsely accused. That's terrifying to think about. Crack down on plagiarism. Keep the competition fair and just. The passionate comments made me scoff in disbelief. If only they knew that their beloved idol was the real culprit behind the plagiarism, would they still scream so loudly in his defense? But after laughing at their ignorance, I found myself puzzled again. The composition Wang Sheng stole was already more than enough to win the competition. Why wasn't he satisfied? Why did he feel the need to post something so provocative? As I pondered, I noticed Wang Sheng accidentally liked a comment and then quickly unliked it. But his fans were even quicker. They had already caught it. And it was now at the top of the comment section. The comment speculated, "Blind guess, was it XMH?" Because my initials XMH frequently appeared in discussions involving Wang Sheng and me. Everyone immediately recognized it. No way! Isn't XMH the top student in T-Music's program? And now he's resorting to plagiarism? Ah Sheng has more popularity than him. Maybe he's trying to frame Ah Sheng? Don't jump to conclusions. They haven't even drawn their number slots yet. If XMH performs after Wang Sheng, plagiarizing would be pointless. Maybe he's just jealous that Ah Sheng won director Gu's favor and is pulling this stunt on purpose. I clenched my fists, the joints cracking audibly. The pain brought me a moment of clarity. When I looked back at my phone, Wang Sheng had already deleted his Daz Hong post. In its place was a new one. A simple text message. "The innocent will remain innocent. I can withstand any pressure." Liu Ryan retweeted his post right after. "I believe in you. I'll stand by your side." Even though we had a huge argument yesterday and hadn't officially broken up yet, she was already openly flaunting her relationship with him on Daz Hong. I scrolled through their previous posts one by one, finding more and more evidence of them crossing the line. In my past life, I hated browsing social media, thinking it was all a toxic mess. I never once opened these apps. But little did I know, they had been openly dating there all along. On March 15th last year, I had a stomachache and wanted Liu Ryan to go to the hospital with me. She said she had a class and told me to just take some medicine. But in reality, she went with Wang Shang to his favorite singer's concert. And on June 10th last year, she told me she needed money to go on a trip with her girlfriends. She withdrew all the money we had saved in our little joint savings account. In reality, she spent 2 months traveling with Wang Shang. When she came back broke, she complained that the trip wasn't enjoyable at all. It turned out she was upset because I hadn't given her enough money. Each memory, each event, proved how much they loved each other, and I was the fool. Even this talent show was probably designed to make me a stepping stone for Wang Shang. I turned off my phone and transferred my newly composed song onto a USB drive. Just as I was about to go to sleep, another notification popped up from my priority alerts. It was Wang Shang's new song, a small snippet of his completed track. Worked all night, but finally got results. Thanks to my junior for keeping me company all night. He let his fans hear it first. How could he finish so quickly? Curious, I clicked on the audio file and froze in shock. The song was exactly the same as the one I had just composed. Wang Shang's youthful voice didn't even match the tone of the song. But the production quality was so good that it masked his inadequacies. Liu Ryan wasted no time in retweeting Wang Shang's demo. Those who take shortcuts can never match real talent and hard work. This will definitely be this year's biggest hit. How could a music director for the show promote one contestant so blatantly? It didn't make any sense. Enraged by the coincidence, my hands trembled with anger. I couldn't take it anymore and rushed out of the practice room. The lights outside were dim, except for a faint glow coming from Wang Shang's practice room. I quickly made my way over. I was just about to turn the door handle to confront them when I heard a mechanical voice inside, distinctly non-human. Rest assured, host. As long as the male lead competes, I can make sure he's placed behind you, ensuring his downfall. By then, you'll be able to steal his fortune. Peeking through the small window on the door, I saw Wang Shang holding Liu Ryan in his arms. With a gentle voice, he said, "Ryan, I'm so grateful to have you by my side. It's all Zieminghui's fault for deleting that previous song, forcing us to stay up all night reworking it." Liu Ryan smiled and kissed his chin, her hands naturally wrapping around his neck. "I've already contacted that top Mandarin music producer. This song will definitely become a hit across the country." I withdrew my hand, my fingers trembling with such intense anger that I could barely hold onto anything. "Being with him makes me sick." Liu Ryan continued. "He's wealthy, yet he insists on maintaining this self-reliant image. If he really cared, he'd give me money and let you start your own business, instead of having me waste my time here as some music director." Hurtful words flowed out endlessly. I stood silently, listening to every word, until they were ready to leave. Only then did I quietly slip back to my practice room. From their conversation, I finally pieced together the truth. This world is a novel, and I am the male lead. Liu Ryan is the female lead, and she's meant to be a strong, independent woman type, rising to the top of life's ladder step by step through her efforts. And I meant to be her greatest stepping stone to success. Her childhood friend accidentally obtained a system. Upon learning about this world, he and Liu Ryan conspired to steal my fortune. However, Wang Shang didn't reveal the whole truth to her. He merely told her that she would become my golden canary. So now, all the effort I put in for Liu Ryan was seen by her as charity. I sat there, numb, as the dawn's first light filtered in. My phone buzzed with notifications of the reposted demo from that renowned Mandarin music producer. The entire internet was praising this musical genius. On the day of the competition, I sat quietly in the back wearing a mask. The live broadcast had already started. Wang Sheng made his entrance amid the screams of fans, his schoolboy outfit making him appear especially youthful and handsome. Ah Sheng, I'm rooting for you. Center position is yours. Kick that plagiarist out of here. Ah Sheng for the win. Teen prodigy Wang Sheng, rising music star Wang Sheng. The scene was grander than ever before, especially to welcome the special guest of the evening. Even the studio they were filming in was the largest one in the city. The special guest was none other than Chen Sheng, a famous music producer in the Mandarin music scene. He even waved in Wang Sheng's direction. The girl sitting next to me was practically fainting with excitement. Did you see that? Chen Sheng is greeting Ah Sheng. Liu Ryan is friends with Chen Sheng. They've even had dinner together before. Ah Sheng is definitely going to debut in the center position. After introducing all the guests, the host began reading out the rules. In response to the plagiarism scandal that had been circulating online, the organizers had prepared a countermeasure. Before each contestant's performance, they were required to explain the inspiration behind their composition. And after the performance, they had to answer questions from the judges. This was to ensure that the song was an original creation by the contestant. As soon as this rule was announced, Wang Sheng's expression darkened instantly. The mechanical voice, as if dissatisfied with the current chaos, chimed in again. Host, I cannot detect Xie Minghui's competition data. If he withdraws, the mission will fail. Sure enough, the next second, my phone started vibrating wildly. In my past life, to protect Liu Ryan's pride, my parents as the organizers let Liu Ryan make all the decisions regarding the rules. That's why Wang Sheng and Liu Ryan were so reckless in the practice rooms. A fact I discovered only after reviewing the surveillance footage. They had done disgusting things in those practice rooms without a care. This time, I had withdrawn from the competition. And as the organizers, my parents adjusted the rules. A game, after all, needs evolving rules to keep things interesting. Originally seated as one of the judges, Liu Ryan now had no interest in watching the performances. They called me one after another, but I didn't answer a single call. As Wang Sheng's turn approached, Liu Ryan's expression grew more anxious. She even sent me a message, demanding I return to the competition. I only said a couple of things for Ah Sheng. Why are you, a grown man, being so sensitive? Hurry up and come back for the competition. You're not answering your phone. Be careful, I'll expose your connections. Withdrawing like this will only get you slandered across the internet. She was furious, but couldn't show it on camera. Even though they were anxious, it was finally Wang Sheng's turn. He forced himself to explain the inspiration behind the song, his stammering voice echoing awkwardly throughout the studio. The girl next to me began to look confused. Why does Ah Sheng seem so unsure? I noticed that even Chen Sheng furrowed his brows. Is it because Ah Sheng has a speech issue? Of course not. I thought, smirking to myself. The inspiration for this song came from my previous life where I was betrayed. From the pain of being stabbed in the back by someone I loved, leading to the destruction of my family. In his attempt to maintain his innocent puppy boy image, he had even dressed in a youthful school uniform, which didn't match the mood of the song at all. How could he possibly understand my creative inspiration? He had always been the one stealing from my life. But even though he stuttered, he managed to piece together a somewhat believable story. Chen Sheng had no choice but to let him start the performance. The next second, the mechanical voice chimed in again. Detected that the male lead is not competing. Host's mission is incomplete. Punishment mode will now begin. I didn't know what the punishment would be, but judging by Wang Sheng's condition, it seemed like a physical punishment. His face turned deathly pale. His voice wavered, and his singing was far less smooth and polished than in the demo. Chen Sheng's frown deepened. After Wang Sheng finished singing, Chen Shang lifted his microphone, then put it down again. He repeated this action twice, his disappointment clearly visible. Liu Ryan shot up from her seat, desperately trying to explain to Chen Shang. Ah Sheng must be feeling unwell today, which is why he didn't perform at his best. Teacher Chen ... You must have heard it. Chen Sheng interrupted her. Are you referring to the demo he posted on Dashong? He picked up the microphone, his voice ringing clearly through every corner of the studio. First of all, I shared that demo because I appreciated the arrangement of the song. The pain, the struggle, the cry within the composition, it's all there. It's a piece filled with rich emotion. However, my recognition of the song does not mean I endorse the person who posted it. Contestant Wang Sheng, are you sure you wrote this song? Suddenly, all the spotlights focused on Wang Sheng. I could almost hear him frantically calling for his system's help. But unfortunately for him, the system had gone silent after issuing its punishment. He trembled, unable to respond, and finally collapsed, fainting on the spot. Sadly, his acting was unconvincing. I could even see his eyelashes trembling uncontrollably on the big screen. Medical staff came and took Wang Sheng off the stage. I adjusted my mask and left the scene. The show was over, and it was time to go home and get some rest. As soon as I stepped outside, I saw my parents' car parked by the curb. When I got in, I was met with their worried gazes. So, how was it? Did anyone give you trouble? 2 days ago, I sat in the practice room until dawn. Finally coming to a decision, I called my senior, Chen Sheng, and asked him to help me by sharing Wang Sheng's demo on Dashong. I wanted to blow this whole thing up as much as possible. After that, I locked the practice room door. I immediately contacted another organizer and told him I wanted to withdraw from the competition. If I couldn't fight back, then I might as well give up entirely, right? Once I was back with my parents, I told them everything, including all the events from my past life. They hugged me tightly, and I buried myself in their arms, crying my heart out. After that, as a representative of the organizers, I demanded a change in the competition rules. The organizer clearly noticed that I no longer had any feelings for Liu Ryan, so he kept her in the dark about the changes. The plan proceeded smoothly. Today, I came to the venue specifically to witness Wang Sheng's downfall firsthand. My parents were incredibly worried, so they waited for me outside the whole time. After returning to the company, I started competing with the security guard over small tasks. Of course, someone like me, who's never lifted a finger, couldn't handle any real work, so the security guard kicked me back into the office, where I mooched off the employees' afternoon tea. Just as I was happily munching on a family-sized bucket of fried chicken, an unwelcome guest barged in. Liu Ryan spotted me still wearing the security guard uniform and immediately pointed at my nose, yelling at me, "This is all you're capable of? You dropped out just because I scolded you? What kind of backbone do you have? If your parents died, would you follow them too?" I couldn't help but laugh at how absurd her words were, and gave her a little shove. "You dare hit me? You cursed my parents." I took a step back, putting some distance between us. Her face was haggard. She wasn't even wearing makeup. Clearly, she hadn't rested well while taking care of Wang Sheng. People like her rarely act rationally. Why didn't you compete? Do you know that Ah Sheng is practically dying because of you? I let out a small laugh. And what does that have to do with me? Oh, by the way, the payment for your work as a music director, I'll make sure you get it according to the contract. And about all the dirty things you and Wang Sheng did behind my back, I know everything. So you'd better take your money and get lost. Having hit her weak spot, she angrily shoved a potted plant onto the floor. Well done, Ziamin Gui. Don't regret this later. I have countless ways to ruin you. Sure enough, within 2 days, the internet was flooded with scandalous rumors about the talent show. Did you know that Sing Your Way condones plagiarism? Not only that, they manipulate the scores and drug contestants, causing them to underperform. Insider info, they even let people with connections enter the competition. That contestant, No. 74, was a privileged plagiarist who dropped out last minute. When they got caught, I sat in my office, watching these lowly tactics unfold. Smirking, they contacted the internal staff to have all the practice room surveillance footage deleted, thinking they could erase all evidence of my hard work. Did they really think I wouldn't be prepared? I picked up my phone and called Chen Sheng. Soon after, a demo that was uniquely mine was posted on Chen Sheng's Dashong account. Everyone, feel free to listen to the original version of the demo. I told you, this song is a bold rebirth from the ashes, not some sugary love tune. Right or wrong, everyone will decide for themselves. It didn't take long for people to dig up the truth. I was Chen Sheng's direct protege, and we had collaborated on several hit songs. My credibility was only rising. Back during the competition, Chen Sheng's greeting was meant for me, further proving my own standing. However, despite proving myself, the public opinion about the show hadn't fully turned, so I reached out to some PR accounts and released the surveillance footage from the night they posted the demo. While some sensitive words like system were censored, their conversation was clear as day. Wang Sheng admitted that he had to rewrite the song because I had deleted the original version. Instantly, the narrative around the show shifted. Everyone began investigating the relationship between Liu Ryan and Wang Sheng. When the timing was perfect, I leaked a pixelated video of Liu Ryan and Wang Sheng together, only leaving their faces clearly visible. I anonymously sent it to multiple media outlets, offering them the scoop. Whoever publishes it first gets the biggest piece of the pie. How they chose to spread the news wasn't my concern. I dumped all the evidence I had, and soon enough, the trending search topics blew up. Seeing the headlines skyrocket, I finally shut down my computer with a satisfied grin. It felt so good. After dealing with the media frenzy, I buried myself back in reports. It wasn't until the evening, when my secretary knocked on the door, that I looked up. "Mr. Zia, your ex is causing a scene at the front desk, insisting on seeing you." I rubbed my temples in frustration. Call security and have them escort her in. Liu Ryan had completely changed her usual arrogant demeanor and immediately knelt in front of me. "Mingui, it's all my fault. I was blinded by greed. I fell into Wang Sheng's trap." I tugged at my arm, which she was clinging to, but she wouldn't let go. "What are you even performing here? When he kissed you, was your tongue just automatically curling up?" The security guard hadn't left either, standing beside me, glaring fiercely at Liu Ryan. She was stunned by my words, but still tried to hold on to me, only to shrink back in fear when the guard stepped forward. No, Mingui, you have to believe me. You are my true destiny. We're meant to be together. We're soulmates. Don't you know? We're the main characters in a novel, destined for each other. We'll have a child together. You'll be my support. And together, we'll become the envy of the entire entertainment industry as a perfect couple. As she spoke, she began fantasizing about our future. "You'll manage the company flawlessly, and I'll become the admired lady's ear." I couldn't take it anymore. I gave the security guard a look, and he dragged her toward my desk. She sat on the floor, disheveled and humiliated. "Mingui, you have to trust me. We'll be so happy in the future. I am the true female lead, and I really do love you." I stood up, walking over to her in my leather shoes. "Did you really love me when you were treating me like an ATM? Taking my money to support your little childhood sweetheart, and now that you can't rise to fame, you've come crawling back to me? Do you even have any shame?" I signaled the security to escort her out, and I gave them strict orders. If she ever shows up at the company again, they were to turn her away immediately. Of course, Liu Ryan didn't come to me because she had cut ties with Wang Sheng. It was because Wang Sheng could no longer give her what she truly wanted. To spare myself any further trouble, I sent her the video of Wang Sheng approaching a new sugar daddy after leaving her. In truth, both of them were just using each other in this relationship. Liu Ryan had been nothing more than a stepping stone for Wang Sheng. When the system failed, he realized Liu Ryan was of no use anymore. Wang Sheng, always reliant on women to climb the ladder of success, quietly reconnected with his former sponsor. According to the private investigator's report, I learned about their final outcomes. Selfish as ever, Liu Ryan had Wang Sheng beaten up when she realized he was about to abandon her. The two were never truly in a relationship, nor were they married. Wang Sheng quickly turned around and sued Liu Ryan, dragging her to court. With no power or influence to back her, Liu Ryan was detained and later permanently incarcerated. As for Wang Sheng, he failed to steal my fortune and was forced to walk his own path. The plagiarism scandal ruined his reputation in the entertainment industry. And thanks to his public displays of affection with Liu Ryan, netizens quickly dug up the dirty details of their affair during my relationship with her. The next time I saw him, he was strolling with a well-known rich woman in the industry, infamous for her peculiar tastes. I looked away, smiling politely at my business partners. I had finally saved myself. The end.